What a mess. An absolute mess that's becoming more dangerous by the minute, and I mean dangerous to all of us. The question you're asking, however, is which one, Steve? And I completely understand how it's not clear anymore. It seems to me that ever since the overhyped pandemic and the fear-mongering was foisted upon us by governments all over the world and amplified by the compliant media worldwide, it's become a life of crisis after crisis after crisis. I'm not even talking about the ones that they make up along the way, like global warming and man-made climate change. I'm only talking about the ones that they created, either intentionally or by way of near total incompetence, but it really doesn't matter how we got here. We're here now, and it is, my friends, an absolute mess. So let's go down that list, shall we, that affects you and me the most. The economy is a mess, with interest rates killing people's dreams of buying a home, a used car, or even a chance to go on a quick vacation. Those things simply out of reach for millions of us now. And it wasn't that way before Joe Biden came into the White House. You know that, and so do I. I mean, the price of everything is going through the roof, and this is why a little bit of math, just a little bit, matters. According to NBC News, the buying power of your dollar, the ones that you're saving for a rainy day, well, that buying power has been cut in half. Hear me again, cut in half since the end of 2020. That's right, the printing of billions of dollars by an out-of-control administration has stripped people of the ability to afford a whole host of things. So as prices soar right alongside interest rates, it's leaving millions of people on the sidelines. Next on the list is the wide-open southern border. I mean, the feckless weasels in Washington keep telling us it's secure. But of course, you know it's not. In fact, Joe Biden just asked for $14 billion to disperse millions of illegal aliens all over this country. Yep, he wants to send you the bill to destroy the meaning of American citizenship. How glorious is that? I don't remember learning about that in government class. Do you? We also have the ongoing paralyzed mess that is the Republican Party. After a few rebels joined with 210 Democrats to toss out Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, when it was on to Jim Jordan, and he failed. And today there are 9 new candidates. Yep, another big mess. Then, of course, there is the huge mess in Ukraine that we're funding to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars, and nobody can give us a straight answer as to why we're doing that exactly. But the biggest mess of all, of course, is the ongoing war now in the Middle East, and the mess that has settled into Western nations where tens of thousands of people have been turning out in support of the butchers of Hamas. And it's not just happening in other countries, it's happening right here in America, too. You see, over the weekend, the leader of the Jewish community in Detroit, a 40-year-old well-connected Democrat, stabbed to death in front of her home. Jewish leader Samantha Woll was praised by her close friends like the Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel. And even though it's an ongoing investigation and no suspects have been formally identified, I know what I thought when I first heard the news. You probably saw it the same thing. That is, that it was some kind of revenge killing, something to do with what's going on in the Middle East. Now, I will wait for the facts to come out before I make any final determinations, but that's where my mind went first. And what about those ripping America for supporting Israel's right to defend itself? Well, it's the usual suspects, for starters. Ilhan Omar, an openly anti-Semitic Democrat, is screaming again for Israel to be condemned for the return fire after 1,500 of its civilians were slaughtered in a terrorist attack back on October the 7th. Listen to this.
I want to say how insane and painful and scary it is to work and serve in a space where we have a member in our caucus say all Muslims are responsible for this, and not a single condemnation comes from our caucus leadership or any member of Congress. How is it that we are serving in a body where there are members who condemn us for asking for peace, for ceasefire? The most simplest thing.
But that's not really what she's asking for now, is it? Because if she was asking for peace, we'd tell Hamas to stop kidnapping Israeli women and children, beheading Israeli babies. But she hasn't done that, of course. But of course, like every Democrat, it is to be all about her, Ilhan Omar. Because, you see, she's the victim here. She's the real victim here. Here's more.
How many more killings is enough for you? Is it 1,000 more? 2,000 more? 3,000 more? How many more Palestinians would make you happy if they died? Will you be fine if all of the people of Gaza were gone? Would that make you happy? Would that be the thing that makes you proud? And maybe that's the question you should ask Richie. Is he okay? How many more Palestinian lives is he comfortable with? Because I'm not comfortable with any more.
Well, there's you have it from the squad. But Israeli bombing of Gaza relentlessly could just be the beginning, the early part of what could become a global war at any moment. It's a tinderbox.